I feel that my proficiency in leadership really had more to do with experience than formalized training that I received both in the military and the civilian sector. I really never had an aha moment where it just sprung to me that this was a great leadership concept or an idea. And certainly I listened to what was provided in the training sessions, the many training sessions that I had throughout my career. But since I really didn't have an aha moment, I don't have one that I can share with you other than maybe a couple stories that I can recall where leadership decisions were made either by me or by others that helped me in my career. As a junior officer in the 13th Coast Guard District, I was assigned a collateral duty of aid to the commander of the 13th Coast Guard District, Rear Admiral Joseph J. McClellan. He was new to the district. He had been away for several years, coming in from headquarters. It was his first district command, and he needed an aide. And as a junior officer, I was selected, and one of the first things he wanted to do was to have dining ins to meet his senior staff and their wives. I attended many of these events with him, and on most occasions I was thoroughly impressed with his ability to recall names of people who he had not seen for years, and names of wives. Following one of the late night dining in sessions, he invited me to join him in a nightcap. And finally I asked him, I said, how is it that you remember the names of your people that you haven't seen for years? And his response to me, at least to me, was quite profound. He said, at my level, your people are your tools. If you can't remember the name of your tools, you can't get your job done. I looked at this both as a learning experience and a challenge. As a mid-grade officer, I was assigned my first command to a reserve unit in Central California that was described as having a leadership void. The unit CEO at that time was a micromanager. The junior officers on staff had little interaction with the troops, and frankly, the only one keeping the unit afloat was the chiefs. And I had experienced the lack of support at the top as a devastating effect for morale. And I experienced it both in the civilian world and to some extent in the military world. But you shoot down morale and productivity will follow. Even worse, proficiency qualifications and personnel retention will suffer. And said another way, bad leadership has bad outcomes. The larger organization edit that out. Let me start again. The answer I found was relatively simple. Empower your people, provide the training and resources needed to get the job done, and then challenge them to excel. I have used this formula several times in various settings and was rarely disappointed. The larger the organization, the less time you have to work with your individuals, and that is why your subordinates and your management team must share your approach. While it's important to consistently assess the effectiveness of your management team, it's also important to know what's going on at the deck plate level. A good leader shares praise and award, and not necessarily through compensation. Depending on which behaviorist you consult, many will tell you that one of the most important human drives is recognition. Acknowledging superior outcomes either by management or an individual is also cheap and can provide lasting and beneficial results. Knowing what good leadership is quite different from being a good leader. Your job as a leader is to constantly assess what works and what doesn't. Learn from others and you will find and apply what is best for your workforce. If it's not working, institute change. If things are running smoothly, keep a watchful eye on the dashboard to monitor critical workforce systems. And there will be a time, perhaps at the end of your career, when you'll relinquish command and turn over the keys for someone else to drive. Make sure that you're on the right course and the people below decks know how important they are in reaching your common destination.